In today's video, I'm going to show you how to attack every single site on the map border. If you guys are interested, I'm uploading every single map on this channel, but if you want to see the long form video, it's on my main channel on Garfield's Dock. Okay, now in terms of attacking lockers slash archives, there's two attacks that you'll commonly see. The first one, we're going to go for an east side office wall archives. Depending on like the site and setup, like for example, I was showing this one-way mirror that's super like overpowered because you have to crouch into it or prone, and that alone puts you at a disadvantage. Typically you can rush the archives area if this is ever just reinforced for some reason, guys. Literally you can rush, because the only way that they can do anything is lobbing a C4 over this, and that makes it quite easy to just shoot and deal with. But you never want to reinforce this wall unless you place a mirror like this, because you're trolling. But if we're talking about an actual attacking, besides just rushing archives, you guys can take east as like first. So basically, depending on how they set up their triple wall here, you need to open up this east wall so you can cut off anybody's rotate. Make sure that you get east control, maybe some nomad, gridlock, whatever. On the balcony, you can put like an air jab or nomad once again, and then you can put a air jab on this double door, and basically you guys open up this wall. You guys would drone out office, and you would just figure out like what they're doing, what they're playing. You can even go up on the roof and get a drone in the skylight, and basically you just got to push whoever's in this area back, and they'll probably end up playing 90/fountain, which is fine, because from here you would just open up this single wall, and you guys need to try to just pinch this fountain guy out of here, and then you guys have the cross for archives. Now, late round, you can have somebody maybe on AC window, or the entire round, depends. And they can cut off, of course, like the beeper side, even small office if this is soft. And you would basically just be trying to go for a default A-plant on the chassis. Typically what ends up happening is this usually ends up in a 2v1, 2v2. Like a lot of frags are going down, because a lot of the spaces you're trying to attack into is super hard to get into on border. So now the second attack that you're typically going to be doing is an army lockers slash break take. So what you guys are going to need to get is control of break room. So some operators that's good for this type of take is like some type of shield operator, because what you usually see is somebody will play this box area in security, and they'll play behind this hard wall. So depending on like how they're playing it and how much utility they have layered, if they're not playing it, take it right away. Literally just take it and then hold the angle. Because you hold this angle, you did like most of the work that you need to do. But basically you're just fighting for this area. If they're playing this so heavy that you guys can't even get in because of the counter angles, like for example this half wall angle, this lockers angle, you guys could do two things. You can rotate over to an office take, or you guys can typically just make a vertical on the person that's down here. So you can literally just go into the small office and make vert, and just make all these lines of sight. Typically you'll get flanked though, so just keep that in mind. But you make those lines of sight, you cut the guy off that's playing here, and he's forced to fight the people outside the main wall. So you just have to win that gunfight. But once you get this entire area, depending if this is reinforced or not, because this is more like a higher rank strat, if this isn't reinforced, just work the wall, open it, and then from here, you can try to clear the guy outside half wall and cut this guy off by nading, stunning, etc. And you can typically just try to go for a plant on this hard wall. Now, you need the person that's outside the main breach to watch the crawling angle, where you can just crawl and try to kill the planter. But besides that, that's typically the two attacks that you'll see. Okay, so attacking workshop is a little bit strange because there's quite a bit of steps for this. I'm going to explain two different ways that you can attack it. So what's really irritating with attacking this site is typically you have people playing all sorts of vertical play above. Even if you clear the people in sight, it's going to be difficult to really plant. So to counterplay that is you guys need to actually get upstairs control. You guys need to bring a hard breach, whatever, open up this main army lockers wall, and then you need to clear the guy that's playing half wall. Now, to successfully do this, usually you would have maybe two people locker side. You would have somebody trying to either go office or on archives window. If you're on the AC, you can drone out your teammate, get them to go through office. Usually what would happen is you would get a pick or two, and then you would be able to establish this map control and cut the person off from being upstairs. They would drop the hatch, and then you would usually have a defender trying to flank up middle stairs. While all this is happening, you can have somebody outside front door just holding the front door angle, so nobody can just rotate west main, and you can just hold these areas. Especially while whoever's above should be someone that has vertical capability. So this hatch is of course open. They're able to open up all lines of sight in sight, fight the people that might be playing sight. As you can tell, you can fight everything, and then you need to work for this hatch and open this hatch up. Once you open this hatch up, you cut off literally all of their areas that they can play, especially like blue single right there. People like to tuck. And from here, what you would usually do is keep 1 or 2 people upstairs on vert if you have man advantage. Get the person with bomb to walk in, and then just try to like plant tucked on the door. And post plant, you have, of course, vertical to play it. Now, if the vertical and, you know, all of that, it just seems too overwhelming, what I would suggest attacking is trying to go for a teller's take. So with a teller's take, it really depends on how the enemies are defending. But if we're saying that generally they're not extending into tellers from sight, and they don't have the office hatch popped, what you guys would do is you guys would need to take 2 areas, or actually 3 areas. You guys would need to take tellers. You guys would need to take passport, and you guys would need to take east stairs. Now, for the people that's taking east stairs, definitely suggest like a gridlock. You're gonna hear a lot of gridlock talk, or just aerial denial, nomad, just air jab off that, gridlock off this balcony, this double door, just so nobody flanks, and if they do, you have intel. From here, you would of course, if this is shot or this barricade, you shoot open. You have blue desk line of sight. You would have somebody just hold this angle for blue. Somebody's going to be contesting you guys from customs, but you don't need to worry about that for now. And you guys would go for the back wall here, or here, wherever. You can also, you know, of course, open up the single, which is super strong to cut off all lines of sight. And yeah, you can cut off literally everything, and you can try to get a plant down on workshop. Now, it's not very typical that you'll see enemies playing with the hatch open in archives, but if that is like a thing and it's a problem, then you need to get a body upstairs to try to contest that person off of that, so you guys can actually successfully plant. Or you guys just need to smoke deep from the single, smoke the person off, and then do an off plant. Now, basically what an off plant is it's an uncommon plant angle. So even like planting right here, as stupid as it is, off angle. If you get up on this bench, this is an off angle, because nobody's really expecting that. They're expecting in the corner here, they're expecting safety. So yeah, those are the 2 typical areas that you would take as an attacker. Okay, now attacking bathroom tellers, it really depends on how the enemies are holding. So for example, in my defensive video that I'm recording at the same time, I explained that there's 2 ways. So there's they reinforce all the bathroom, and they pop the hatch, and they play a mirror, and they watch the window. This isn't supposed to be reinforced, by the way. If they do this, if you're trying to counter this and you're not trying to attack into their extend, what you could typically do is you can try to go server over. You just need to watch the vertical. So you basically get into vent, you go through vent to server, you get some bodies around customs, you guys got to take control of customs, and you're basically going horizontal over. So usually there's going to be like one person in sight, or 2 people in sight, and you can try to cut them off as long as, you know, you take control of main lobby and all this stuff. You just got to watch for the vertical play and the hatch is open. If the hatch is open, I would suggest changing up your attack and going from lockers over and actually clearing this, because this is going to be a pain in the butt to try to attack into if you're just going from below and you're working into their vertical. So you need to get armory lockers control. You need to walk up, get all of this control, and then if there's a mirror on fountain, you need to try to clear this. If you guys did get that control from below, you can actually make vert on him, the guy that's playing the mirror, which is just in workshop, and you can try popping this, and then you would basically just be working for clearing the guys above on vert. Now this is a super complicated way to do this, but if we're being honest, an easier alternative might be flipping to a bottom square take. Now this is if they're upstairs playing office side guys. So what you would need to get control of is, I would get somebody on the south balcony, maybe try to get some type of flank wash, air jab, nomad, a drone, something, just so late round we can actually get to bottom square. And you would be basically just holding for east or office double here, and your teammates would be getting passport control and even bottom east control. So the only problem with trying to get bottom east control during this attack is if they have the wall open for the Canadian mirror, you guys would literally have to vault in and run in like idiots. And basically what you guys are going to be working for is this teller's single wall right here. So what you guys would be doing is maybe smoking off double, or just even getting a body in customs, but getting a body in customs is very difficult. So you would basically just work for this wall, you would open this wall, and you would try to get a plant off here. Because if you're able to do that, then the people that's extending with all this vertical and all this, you know, the hatch being opened, they have to just drop down and then flood sight. So at the same time, at the start of the round, what you're going to want to also be doing is creating phantom pressure by opening teller's window. No matter what attack you do, I would just open this teller's window just so, you know, they feel pressure just rotating and going through the rotate. But basically, yeah, if they're dropping the hatch, you can basically catch them lacking trying to rotate, and it's a huge pain in the ass. That was a long explanation just for the extension roam, which I don't even know if you guys are going to see. Now, if they're doing the basic rotate here and extending into workshop and have all that reinforced, what you guys can do, and it's honestly my favorite attack for this, is once again go for an east passport take for the teller single. So you guys would get upstairs east control. You don't even need to go office, honestly, unless you want to get crazy vert. So if you do want to do that, you need to make sure you have a pre-placed inside break at the start of the round and take this control, cut off anybody that's trying to come up metal, anybody that's rotating from army lockers, and then you guys need to take office control and then just make a whole bunch of vert. And your main objective here would, of course, just be opening up the office's hatch, because this is typically going to be reinforced. You can make a tons of vertical, and then you can usually just drop into sight and try to get a plant down. Especially playing off that vert, people are going to be, of course, back workshop. You can just plant, tucked. And even when you're upstairs, you can make vert on archives, which is very powerful. Okay, now attacking customs is a very odd place to attack, because it all depends on how the enemies are playing. This is usually like a meme site for a lot of people that's trying to disrespect you. So drone out site, see how many people is in sight. Typically people are just playing the site just to run around like idiots. So you can usually just open up this detention wall, and you can get somebody to open up supply window just for phantom pressure. If they're playing heavy vert on this site, you guys could bring lots of smokes, yings, stuff like that, just to get map control and site control, and maybe even get a rush plant. But if that's not the case, you guys also need to get passport and tellers control. So you guys would want to open up this passport wall, and you would want somebody coming in from tellers, even 2 people, just to get this map control, make sure nobody's east, and you can basically cut off anybody that's in sight, bottom metal, workshop. And your main objective, if you're this person, is to just hold. You can't let them get to this double door, because the person that opens up the passport wall right here, as long as there's not vertical, is just going for a plant right here, and it's completely safe. You just gotta watch the small office for, you know, shooting you in your ass when you're going by. Now, once again, phantom pressure is super important. So if you see that they're making vertical play, you can open up lines of sight by just open up the barricade, and that cuts off them from laying the vert on passport. It's honestly that simple. Something you could do is even play Aurora late and just roar off double if they're still up here, and you know you can just let your guy plant because the vert is literally right here. So, or you can throw gridlocks. You can do whatever. You know, you don't need to fully commit taking the gunfight up here unless like it's a 2vx and you need to help your teammate downstairs. But yeah, a lot of people don't play this vert. Like you can even like clear from east. You can come break and come balcony, take east control, or even just bang east if it's not reinforced, because typically you don't have enough reinforcements, and you can just fight the people here. But yeah, it is all dependent on how the enemies are playing.